Welcome to the project configuration video in our FlexDeploy learning series. A project is wired to the workflows and instances we explored in the other videos in this series, is optionally bound to code or configuration within a source control management system, and has other properties required for specific workflows and plugins. We will start by taking a look at the configuration tab of the Work Better Faces project. The first section to examine is the project configuration. Towards the right of the screen, we can see the Build Workflow subsection. The selected workflow identifies which workflow we want to use to perform the build. The build instance helps determine where the build will run and allows the project scoped workflow and plugin properties associated to the instance to become available on this project. Similarly, the deploy workflow is the workflow which will be executed during a deployment request for this project. However, here, multiple deploy instances can be selected, which makes them available as selectable targets when submitting a deployment. All project-scoped workflow or plugin properties associated to any of the selected deploy instances are connected to the project. We will look at the project properties in just a few moments. The selected SCM type to the left tells FlexDeploy which type of SCM repository, if any, hosts the source for this project. Here we have our source code managed in Subversion. Now let's take a look at the SCM configuration for Subversion. First, the SCM instance, which references the desired repository, must be selected from the list of SVN instances. Next, we must configure the SCM specific instance properties. For Subversion, these properties include Groovy scripts that identify the path to trunk, branches, and tags folder within the repository for this project, and an optional subfolder within the working directory to check out the source code into. The last section in the Configuration tab is Streams, which identify partitions within an SCM for particular development releases. It's important to keep in mind that one or more streams may be specified for each project. For example, you may have the trunk stream along with additional named branch streams. Now let's take a look and switch over to the Properties tab. The Properties tab contains a list of all of the project scoped properties mapped from the Build and Deploy instances selected in the Configuration tab. These properties are another feature that helps FlexDeploy to connect the project to the necessary technologies. An additional feature provided is the Override Properties button, which allows you to override environment instance properties for this project for tailored configuration options. When you build or deploy a project, FlexDeploy executes the selected workflows on the selected instances and uses the associated properties to communicate with the designated technologies to provide context for the project. Check out our complete set of videos in this FlexDeploy learning series.